Hello everybody, welcome once again to another video. I am Bestialaren, and today we continue our long dive down the deep and awful rabbit hole that is Yubisaki Milk Tea Volume 3. Finally, the wait is over, and now you get to listen to me rant for like 20 minutes about a manga that you don't care about, which is great. So let's just get on with it. Let's just dig right in. And we're going to start with just looking at that cover, which finally is a little bit tasteful, featuring Hidari and the one other only good character, the lesbian, whose name I've forgotten since now, and I'm not going to bother to look it up. We're just going to call her the lesbian. Let's just go. No one cares. I don't care. This manga's garbage. Let's dive in. So, we open up with Hidari, and she's reflecting on the events of the last volume. And instead of being pissed off at Yoshinori for lying to her, she's angry at herself because she was childish, because she ran off and cried in the rain, which it kind of displaces the blame where it should be. It should be with the lying guy who she has a crush on. But no, we're just going to be mad at ourselves because we were childish, and we can't be childish. We must be mature for the man who is playing with our heart and is going to play with our heart for like 9 more fucking volumes or something. And so it's just Hidari for like a couple pages, and just her like reflecting, I should be more mature, I shouldn't be such a child. And it's like, no, you should be fucking furious at this guy who's been lying to you, but sure, whatever. And we cut to Yoshinori, who is doing a bit of shopping in drag, and it turns out that he's bought like a present for Hidari or something, and he's encountered on this. He's stopped on the street by these 2 dudes who sort of kind of like perv on him in drag because they think that he's a girl, and he's like, no, get the fuck away from me. And they're like, bitch, because he was cold to them. And he reflects upon this later on. He mopes on a bench. He's all like, this is why I can't tell Hidari I love her, because men are garbage. Which, no, because a couple dudes perved on you on the street, this is why you can't tell Hidari that you love her, because men do these things? Which, yeah, sure, men do these things, but that shouldn't be the reason why you can't tell Hidari that you love her. You can't tell Hidari that you love her because you can't keep it in your pants around sexy-ass pants Minamo in school. That's literally the reason. The only reason Hidari's getting hurt is because you can't make up your goddamn fucking mind. It has nothing to do with the fact like, oh, men are trash. We're all just a bunch of horn dogs, and that's why I can't tell her I love her, because I am a pervy, disgusting man at heart. Like, fuck you, shut up. And then he's encountered while in drag by Hidari, and she has like a conversation with him in drag as if Yuki was like a third person in the relationship still, and not obviously Yoshinori in drag, a fact that she knows. But I guess it's her way of being able to vent to him, and she talks about how like, oh man, I'm always like, no one's ever told me that they loved me before, and I'm always clinging to Yoshinori, and I feel so bad. And she's like, I'll never be like a woman to Yoshinori. And fucking liar, motherfucker Yoshinori is all like, oh, don't worry, Hidari. You will always be Yoshinori's one and only. Which, as we get deeper into this fucking disgusting trash, you'll figure that this is a massive-ass lie, even until the very end. And later on, he gives her the present that he bought her when he's out of drag after she's gone and hung out with the lesbian for a bit. And next chapter, they go on a date to the beach, which is fine, but they're also accompanied by Yoshinori's sister, who I guess wanted to come along or be their chaperone. And so they go to the beach, and they don't really even hang out together. Hidari kind of goes off and plays by herself, while Yoshinori and his sister kind of have a heart-to-heart chat. Also, it's the off-season, it's winter time, so they're not, like, swimming around in the ocean. That's probably why. And they get to talking about Hidari's late mother, and how Yoshinori's sister thought of Hidari's mom as kind of like a mother figure, because her mom wasn't really around a lot, so Hidari's mother was kind of like a mom replacement for her, and how she just misses the fuck out of her, and so she actually fucking starts crying, because she's just just moved to tears at the thought of Hidari's mom because she loved that woman so much, like, in a motherly way. Meanwhile, fucking motherfucker Yoshinori is remembering a time when he was a young lad and he was at Hidari's house and they were having a bath together, because apparently that's all they did as children, was bathe together. If his all of two, like, flashbacks to their childhood or anything to go by. But this was when Hidari's mom was still alive and she was giving them a bath. And he looked at Hidari's mom's big old fat mom tits and he popped a boner as a kid. And she was like, you have a boner, that's so fucking precious. Which, okay, mom, sure, fine. And he thinks like, oh man, what if me and Hidari were married and she came in with big fat mom tits and asked to, like, wash my back, and that would really turn me on. So while his sister is having a good long cry about how she misses Hidari's mother, Yoshinori is having a flashback to when he popped a little boy boner over seeing Hidari's mother's tits, which, sure, buddy, that's great. And then we have to take a break from thinking about titty to feeling sorry for ourselves because we are hurting Hidari, because we can't change who we are. I'm just a horrible person at heart, and the fact that I have Yuki, the alternate personality, is also, like, affecting Hidari in some way. And then Yoshinori and Hidari try to kiss, but then Yoshinori's sister, who probably would really want them to fucking kiss, doesn't let them kiss. Fine, sure, be a cock block, you motherfucker. And then we cut to Yoshinori, and he's at school, and he and his best friend Wataru are talking, and Wataru's like, fucking Manama won't let me see Yuki. I keep on asking her, but she just will not let me see Yuki. And Yoshinori's like, oh, fuck, Yuki. I need to tell Manama about this. This is bad. And you think that this is going to be a chapter about them encountering Yoshinori's friend as Yuki again. But no. Instead, the conversation between them after he confronts her in drag about Wataru becomes a conversation about how Yoshinori hanging around Manamo is going to hurt Hidari even more. And it's fucking great because it starts with Manamo talking about how she's just really, really thankful that Yoshinori's in her life, and even though they can only hang out when he's in drag, she's just very, very grateful for Yuki, or just the entity that is Yuki, because she's always been alone, because she's never been able to make friends. And she just bears her fucking soul about how, like, she's so glad that Yoshinori is with her because she's so lonely. He tells her, we gotta stop being friends, Minamo. We can't keep fucking doing this. We can't keep hanging out in school in a non-sexual way, which we agreed upon that it would not be a sexual manner. We would just be friends, and we would hang out as girlfriends, and that was the agreement. And honestly, to a point, that was it, except they kissed, like, once. What's a little kiss between women? And so he's like, we gotta stop doing this because I love Hidari, which, liar as shit. And he's like, we gotta stop hanging out, which is just hilarious because she was just like, I'm so glad you're my friend, and he's all like, oh yeah, about that, we gotta stop. We gotta stop because Hidari is important to me. And so Minama puts on a brave face and she's like, oh yeah, I can totally make some other friends. Fuck off. I'm done with you. Goodbye. But of course she has a cry later on because she fucking wants that dick so bad. But she will never get it, which she never actually will. Spoilers, but moving on. So, like, immediately after, Yoshinori is literally walking down the fucking hallway from the class. And he's like, alright, I have solved this problem, and now I can tell Hidari that I love her. But then he just feels immediately bad that he's broken things off with Manamo. Because he also wants to bang her. Still. And he goes off and he encounters a side character named Nogi, and she is a basketball player. And they kind of meet in the gym because he kind of heard her playing basketball and he watched her be playing basketball. And she challenges him to a match. He's like, I can't do that. I don't want to play basketball. And she's like, why? You're so tall. Because she thinks that Yoshinori's a girl because he's still in drag. And he's all like, I just don't, I'll build muscle and I don't want to look manly. But she keeps pushing him because she's very pushy person, very hot-headed person because she wants someone else to join the basketball team. And Yoshinori's all like, fine, I'll play basketball with you if you're gonna be such a fucking pushy motherfucker. So they have a match, and Yoshinori falls the fuck over, and his wig falls off, and it turns out, oh, surprise, I'm a boy. Which, surprisingly, Nogi has, no problems with, which is probably the most wholesome thing about the manga, is that Nogi, anybody in the manga, everybody in the manga who finds out that Yoshinori is actually a dude who just really likes to, wear dresses and look like a girl. Everybody, 100% of the time. Now, I know this is spoilers, but I don't care. Everybody, 100% of the time, cool with it. Just, they learn it, and they accept it, and they're like, okay, well, that's fine. And Nogi is one of the first, and they get to talking, and Yoshinori's all like, hey, could you please be friends with this girl, Manamo, who I cannot talk to because I can't talk to another woman and like Hidari because I can't control my fucking dick. And she actually agrees. She's like, sure, I'll befriend this one girl who I don't know because we played basketball once and I found out that you were a girl and we talked for 5 minutes in the nurse's office while you had a sprained ankle. Sure, we're best friends now. So she goes and attempts to befriend Manamo, and at first it doesn't really work, but then she persists, just like she did with Yoshinori in the basketball. And they wind up becoming friendly with one another, and Yoshinori is very glad about this, but actually he's not, because he's actually fucking jealous of the fact that Manamo has made another friend outside of him, even though he wanted to break off things with her, because he didn't want to be friends with her, because he wanted to fall in love with Hidari, and we can't be friends with another girl and fall in love with another girl, no, we have to want to fuck everybody with a vagina. Fuck. And so he goes, and he dresses in drag, and he's all like, hey, can I talk to you, Manamo? And he's like, no, go the fuck away. We already talked about this. You said you didn't want to be my friend. Get the fuck out of here. And it's just so fucking ridiculous, because he just wants that so bad, even though he himself broke it off. He's like, I'm really jealous of Nogi now, because she's friends with Manamo, and only I can be friends with Manamo. Don't be friends with Nogi. He literally tells Manamo, I'm jealous. Don't be friends with her. Don't be friendly with other girls. Stop being friendly with other girls. Literally, I don't know if you can see it, but it's in this panel right here. He tells her, don't be friendly with other girls. Which is scary abusive, but sure, why not? Let's fall in love with that shit. But she's not having it. She's all like, I have no idea what the fuck you're thinking. 1 minute you don't want to be my friend because you're afraid that if you're friends with one other girl, you can't actually have a relationship with another girl. And she runs off. Which, thank God, please, Manamo, please keep running. And so, Yoshinori goes to fucking Hidari and establishes another. They have so many pity dates. Every single day he takes Hidari on. He does so because he needs to pity himself. So he takes Hidari out on a date to feel better, which is fucking awful. Every single, he goes to her, let's go on a date, and he gives her a gift, and she's like, oh, and she's so happy, but he's doing it because he feels bad because he hurt Manamo's feelings, another woman's feelings, and he just, I need to take Hidari out on a date. I need to feel like I'm a good man. So they go on a date to the aquarium, and it's just a kind of a regular dinky-dink date. He flirts with her, and then I think they kiss. I think he starts to talking about how he's like, hey, so I'm no longer talking to Manamo because I can't speak to another woman while I'm dating you because I'm afraid that I will fuck her. I'm afraid that I will want to fuck her. And instead of being really fucking put off by this because he still wants to fuck another girl, Hidari's like, oh, good boy. They share a hug, they kiss, and she's all like, it's okay, I'm totally fine with the fact that you literally cannot speak to another woman because you're afraid you'll cheat on me. That's totally alright. That's fine as hell. And then we kind of have like a side story, like the one wholesome like side story in this whole manga about Hidari and the lesbian. And it's fucking like, she couldn't just ask her to like, I want to be pretty and you're fucking pretty. Could you please teach me how to be pretty? No, we gotta start off by like telling the girl that we obviously know has feelings for us. Make me a woman. Which, you know, it could not be taken any other way, ever, of course. Of course, make me a woman means tell me how to look pretty and doll myself up so I can look good for this man who has feelings for every fucking woman he approaches. And so they just get to talking and how she's really jealous of the lesbian, who I'm gonna find her name out, Kagami. Fucking Kagami the lesbian, about how she's jealous about how cute she is and how beautiful she is, and how she wants to be more like her. And the lesbian, bless her heart, she's all like, you gotta stop this. You gotta stop being jealous of people and stop trying to be something you're not. You're perfectly fine the way you are, Hidari. And Hidari flips the fuck out at her over this. And she's like, you'll never understand. Like, you don't even know you're cute. Why would you wear a ribbon? She just gets all upset at Kagami because Kagami is cute. And she wants to be cute because she wants to be everything that could possibly attract Yoshinori the garbage man. But then they just immediately make up. And it's like, it's okay, it's alright. And then they like hug it out, which is fine. Because this is the only relationship in this manga that I care about. And then we start off on another side plot that involves one of Hidari's classmates who's a guy, and I'm not even going to bother learning his name because he's so insignificant. Even though he's like a prominent figure throughout the manga, he's just so insignificant, I'm not even going to give a shit about this dude. So he hands off a letter to Hidari, and she's like, oh, is this for me? And she's like, no, it's for Kagami. So there's this like brief period where she thinks that this guy really likes Kagami, and she goes over to her house, and she's like, oh yeah, somebody gave me like a love letter, and she throws it in the fucking garbage because she's a lesbian and she only has eyes for Hidari. Fuck that guy. But she like makes Hidari look really pretty and cute. She's like, look, you can be pretty and cute too. Even though I told you before that you were fine as you were. But since you're jealous of me, I'm gonna make you look pretty. And then they sleep together, which is fine. Because I like that. That's my ship. That's my ship. And so she gets to talking to the boy who gave her the letter. And it turns out that it was from another dude, and he actually likes Hidari. He's like, I actually love you. Which, fine. He has like no defining features. He's just a random dude. And it's all like, he couldn't be more of just an insignificant character if he tried. And so Hidari kind of reflects on the fact that, oh, another guy has confessed his feelings to me. And even though like she like was very, very caught up in the fact that no one had ever told her that they loved her, she's bothered by the fact that a random other dude who isn't Yoshinori has told her that they love her. So she's just all kinds of fucking bothered. And she makes a very big show about when she sees Yoshinori to run up to him and talk to him and be all cute and get her head pat in front of him. In front of the guy who told her that he liked her because she wants him to fuck right off. So they're watching fucking him play soccer the next day, and Kagami's like makes a remark like, wow, he's really good at soccer. And then fucking Hidari, Miss, I want to be grown up and I don't want to be a little girl anymore. She's all like, Nori-kun is 100 times better. Like, he is nothing. He is hardly even a blip on your radar. You don't have to be cruel or mean to this guy. All you gotta say is, nah, dude, I like somebody else. That's all you gotta do. That's all you gotta say. You don't gotta be, like, mean and spiteful to this one random dude who has no idea what the fuck you're going through. But he just wanted to say that he liked you. That's it. You just fucking let the guy down. Fuck. And so she confronts him after the game, tells him that he looked cool, and then he like tells her, he's all like, you need to stop seeing that high school guy, which is probably the one good piece of advice that anyone has ever said, and it was delivered by a random nobody man. And like he spouts so much wisdom on this one page. He's like, I think you should stop seeing that high school guy. There's something wrong with the guy who wants to get his hands on a junior high school girl. He must be some kind of pervert. Thank you, random guy. I actually take back everything I fucking said about you being a nobody and being insignificant. You're still a nobody and you're still insignificant, but you're probably like the best character after Kagami. You random nobody man have made it to my number 2 and favorite fucking characters, because you're the only person in this whole entire manga who has said even a bit of sense. But then she turns him down because she's all pissed off because this guy told her the fucking truth, and she's just all like, no, fuck you. I'm Yoshinori's toy, and I will tell you this word for word what she says in response to, you need to stop seeing this high school guy. It's really creepy that he's into you because you're a lot younger than him and in middle school. She says, I'm Yoshinori's toy. Nori-kun is the only one who can touch me, and he's the only one who's allowed to make me cry, not you. Which, too far gone. We can't save this one. She's too far gone. And then we just immediately cut away to that. We don't have like any other reaction. She's just all like, fuck off. I love this creepy older man, and he's the only one who's allowed to make me cry, even though I hate it when he makes me cry. Like, we are not, like, we keep on taking the blame that should be on Yoshinori, and she's like, I'm okay, I'm totally cool. Like, at this point, she's like, she went from, like, being totally upset with him to being like, I'm upset with myself because I'm so childish. I cried in front of him. I feel so bad too. Only he can make me cry. Anybody else, fuck them. Like, there's something very, very wrong about that line of thought happening. But then after this, they see each other, and even though she's very concerned about the fact that she doesn't want to be a little girl, she wants to become a woman, she sees Yoshinori and immediately sees him and shouts, Nori-kun, Nori-kun, and leaps into his arms and cries because some random fucko at school told her that she should stop seeing this older guy. And then Kagami, bless her heart, as Hidari is crying and huddled up in his arms, comes up to him and is like, I don't like you. Which, me and her, we're on the same wavelength, because I don't like him either. Fuck him. And then she gets all flustered because she was like, oh no, I let my feelings show. Like her obvious feelings for Hidari couldn't be any more obvious if she tried. But she runs off and she leaves them alone. And then we have one more chapter, and it's just focused on Manamo, because we haven't focused on Manamo enough in this manga. And she's tutoring Hidari, and she's like, wow, Hidari's fucking smart. She really doesn't need me anymore. In fact, it's very uncomfortable being around Hidari, because she is Yoshinori's, like, girlfriend at this point. Keyword. And it's just very uncomfortable for her to be tutoring essentially her romantic rival, even though she tells herself over and over again she doesn't want to see Yoshinori because he fucking keeps on dropping her like a hot potato. I think this is like the second or third time where he's done this, but anyway, she still wants that dick. But no surprise. So she tries to stop tutoring Hidari. She talks to Hidari's dad, and she's like, I want to quit tutoring Hidari. She's plenty smart. She doesn't need me anymore. But it turns out that Hidari's dad has always known that she is smart, and the reason he hired a tutor is because he just wanted somebody to hang out with Hidari because she lost her mom, and after she lost her mom, Hidari, like, quit all of her extra classes and stopped trying in school because she wanted to be at home with her dad. And so he's like, please continue to tutor my girl. She just needs a good, solidly grounded girl to just hang out around. Please continue to tutor my daughter. And she agrees to just keep tutoring Hidari, because we need to just make drama. And then it's later on at school, and she has a good cry about the fact that even though she says to Nogi that she's done with Yoshinori, she goes and has a cry about how she's lonely and she just wants to see him again. So she fucking calls Yoshinori, even though he's dropped her, like, he's honestly used her and abused her, like, twice at least already in 3 volumes. But she calls him, she comes crawling back to him, crawling back to awful fucking garbage man, and they have, like, a talk, and they go to a cafe, and then she talks about how, like, why she's lonely, because she actually, like, started speaking her mind around all these, like, vapid girls, and how she didn't like them, and now she's all alone, and then she's all like, "Make me your girlfriend, Ikeda," which is his last name. And just the entire point of the fact that he didn't want to talk to you anymore was because he wanted to see Hidari. He explicitly said, he's all like, "I need to do this for Hidari, the girl who I love, who I'm dating." And she's just all like, "Make me your girlfriend." Even though she clearly knows that Yoshinori is going out with Hidari. She brazenly asks him anyway, because as much of a a victim that she is of the Yoshinori awful fucking god-awful fuck. I honestly have no words. She just wants to be his girlfriend so bad. And she, like, has, like, a panic attack over the fact that she wants to be his girlfriend. Because she's lonely. And she has a fucking panic attack literally in front of him. And so he kisses her. And they kiss for a long-ass fucking time. Like, the entire manga, this entire volume, he's been going on and on and on about how he wants to be Hidari's one. Hidari is his one and only. Very key word here is the one and only part of that. And how he's never going to make her cry again. And there's one specific thing he tells his sister, too, about how he's going to protect Hidari. She'll never cry again. And literally, same volume, he goes and makes out with the girl that he didn't want to see because he was afraid that he would cheat on Hidari with her, and here he is, fucking doing just the fuck that. And that is why I fucking hate this manga, is because he will make a decision to date this girl in 1 volume, and at the end of that same fucking volume, he'll be with another fucking chick. Like, and it's constant, and it's endless, and it's never going to end. It's never going. The wild fucking ride of Yubisaki Milk Tea is never going to settle until we reach the very fucking end, and we have yet to even come close to that. We are only on volume 3 out of 10 fucking volumes, my dudes, and you better be ready, because this shit is only going to get worse from here, like I said in the last video, and it's only going to get worse and worse and worse until you can't fucking stand it. But yeah, that was Yubisaki Milk Tea Volume 3. I hope you enjoyed me just cursing loudly at this book until I couldn't even think of words to say. I'll see you all in the next video, whenever that may be. Maybe we'll just do another one of these. Maybe we won't. Maybe we'll take another month-long hiatus off the series. We'll see. But until then, I will see you all in the next video. Bye.